EVs are super bad, you guys. Oh my gosh, you environmentalists have been suckered. It's just terrible, and I can't believe how cotton-headed you guys all are. It's ridiculous, and joining me to discuss just how terrible EVs are and how we all got it wrong is Herbert from Brighter. He's going to make us brighter, hopefully. I'm Brian. Welcome to Futuraza. So, Herbert, yesterday, as of recording this anyway, on the X, I did get to see this little gem from Denise. And, okay, kiddos, let's start by being condescending. It's time for environmental class. Glad that it's a proper noun and capitalized. That's great. Yay! This is a Tesla Model Y battery. It takes up all the space under the passenger compartment of the car. So far, so good, right?
Well, no, but okay. Sure.
Yeah. To manufacture, you need 12 tons of rock for lithium. Do you need 12 tons to make one car?
I guess let's just pause for a second and step back a bit. It is just, I guess, my reaction is this: aren't we already at the stage where this argument, which we've been having for years, should be done? Because all the car manufacturers are now announcing electric vehicles. They're pushing hybrids if they want to try to hide their ICE cars. The argument has been made for so long, and yet there's pockets like this that are still coming out trying to say this is, environmentally damaging, and it's all lies. So it's completely wrong, first of all. But again, let's move on. Obviously, the battle is still the beginning.
Yes. So let's do this. A typical spodumene concentrate is 6 to 7% lithium. So that means that this 12 tons of rock would actually get you 1,440 pounds of lithium. That's off by, she's off by 85 times, roughly. Almost two orders of magnitude. So that's rocket science genius right there on this part.
Yeah. Lithium is one of the most abundant elements on Earth. It's everywhere. It's everywhere in our soil. So
it's in our oceans, as she pointed out. It can be extracted. Currently, it isn't at a commercial scale. 5 tons of cobalt minerals. Most cobalt.
Yeah.
Most cobalt.
And the children are the ones doing it, right? That has just persisted. That is the thing that I think it's embedded in every, a lot of people's minds, is a visualization of children in the cobalt mines doing this. And you and Elon and others have already tried to explain that they're barely using cobalt in the cars these days.
Right.
So
and it's difficult and expensive to
and no children,
and no children.
Obviously.
Well, because these are all conflict places, like Australia and Chile. That's where your lithium is coming from. And for that matter, we can look at the cobalt. So the copper you're making is mostly from Chile. China just hit number 2. And then you've got the United States and Australia behind that. So these are all ridiculous lies, is what I'm saying. 3 tons of nickel, 12 tons of copper. You must move 250 tons of soil to obtain your lithium, your nickel, your manganese, and your cobalt. These numbers are just striking me as high. And I'm going to say they are high because if we look over here, we'll see that there are 14 million EVs sold in 2023. 14 million. So what's 14 million times 250 tons? It happens to be 9 trillion pounds of mining that Denise believes we have done.
Nice math, dude.
9 trillion. So that's, I'm just so glad we have someone so much smarter than you and I to help us. And, it also, to manufacture the battery also requires 441 pounds of aluminum, steel, and or plastic. Engines weigh more than that, but okay. And 112 pounds of graphite. Graphite. What's graphite? Do you know what
carbon?
Right. It's carbon. So it's most commonly a byproduct of coking. When you're burning other things, you end up with these pellets,
Yeah.
which,
Yeah.
by the way, look kind of like this. See this giant pile here? This is in Montana. This is in a city called Anaconda, where they had a mine for a long time, and it is endless. It is a mountain of endless proportion. It looks like this. It is huge. And all it is these fine little burnt gravel rock looking things.
Right.
Where it is essentially free. But again, it's just carbon. It's a super fun site, but not because of this, not because of all these mountains. This smokestack here has since been demolished because this is a super fun site. They were pumping arsenic into the air for 50 years.
That's what I was going to say for her was, okay, great. Thank you for that. Why don't you do the same now for oil?
No,
Go ahead.
never.
Please.
Will not. And to give you an idea
Oil
of the
is so
scale,
clean.
right?
Oh,
To
clean
give you
oil.
an idea of the scale,
Clean
this
energy.
smokestack was so
Yeah.
large that there was a display of it at the little visitor center. The rim of it was large enough you could drive a car around on it if you had a car all the way up there, because this thing was so huge you could see it from hundreds of miles away as you're approaching. But did you know, if you're worried about nickel and manganese and cobalt, LFP batteries don't use none.
No, they don't.
And
I don't know,
most
it's just-
EVs globally use LFP because most EVs globally are Chinese. So that's good and ridiculous. We've got just so many lies in so little time. So then we get into some more wiggly dumb math. The caterpillar is used to
Right.
move the earth, and the caterpillar consumes all this diesel. The bulk of necessary minerals for batteries come from China or Africa. Slave labor, which is demonstrably false. Cobalt does exploit labor, which is why Tesla has moved aggressively away from cobalt and does not source from any of those places. The battery weighs 1,000 pounds. You can imagine the shipping cost. They're not shipping the battery. They're shipping either the minerals or the entire car. I don't want to ruin it. Now let's get into some real bad math. How much does a battery cost? Model 3, 14,000 plus. Now, I can tell you, I know for a fact that that's not correct because I talked with a third-party repair center and he pulled up his phone and showed me battery pricing. But let's just pretend. Or Model Y, somehow a third of the price. Denise,
What?
it's the same battery, honey. It's the same battery. Model S, 13 to 20. Model X, 13 plus. Denise. You don't know. Okay.
How's that possible? Yeah.
It's not. It's possible when you don't know what you're talking about, because you can say anything. It doesn't matter. It takes 7 years for an electric car to reach net zero CO2. You've heard that old chestnut, haven't you?
Oh gosh, all the time. I mean, yeah, and that. Oh, by the way, it's like the even if you're getting it from the the electricity, that's coming from power plants, anyways.
Even if you were using just a coal-fired plant, it's still not. The average EV produced in the US will close the gap in 2.2 years, or 25,000 miles, according to analysis. And Bloomberg is not the only one who's done this analysis. It's study after study. I've seen numbers as low as under a year and as high, and 2.2 is the highest number I think I've seen. And they emit significantly less CO2 over their lifetime because, come on. The break-even point is longer in other countries. In the UK, it could be longer. Japan is 9.6 years. I don't believe that number. I don't think they're using that much coal, but these stories have been debunked over and over. Denise, what are you doing? Now, here's the real sprinkles atop this chocolate ice cream emoji. Is the only thing I can describe it as. So this is America. I fully support your right to buy whatever. If you want an electric car, get one. Just don't sell me on how awesome you are for the environment or for human rights. Class dismissed. Oh my God. If you're going to be so condescending, at least have the decency to be right. So even if it was 7 years, most cars last more than 7 years. It's still better. But here's the real topper. This is how many views it had as of yesterday. A million. A million views on this absolute steamer.
That's this is why it's a battle, and I guess it's continuing because they keep changing. People don't know, the facts. It's hard to study all this, and they assume that this is right.
When I see numbers like 12 tons of lithium, my BS detector goes off. Now, maybe she needs to check the batteries in hers. Honestly, I think she probably needs to check the batteries in her CO2 detector as well, because I don't think she's getting enough oxygen. It's insane that you would read this and not have alarm bells ringing. None of this. I mean, to community notes this would take hours,
Yeah.
and it just wouldn't be effective. I don't have time to do that. That's a service I'm not able to provide. I have to work. D
Yeah.
nice.
It's okay. Yeah, if you step back a bit, right, the movement to electric vehicles has happened. The war is happening, but we're winning, right? So I mean, every single country. I just reported recently a month ago that 32 countries have now hit the 5%, the magical 5% of all new cars being sold as electric vehicle. And whenever it hits at the 5%, any kind of revolutionary new technology has always shown that once it's at 5%, the legacy just falls off, and then it's a skyrocket up at that point. And so, we've seen every single car manufacturer building electric vehicles. They're pulling back a bit because of their own issues that they have, trying to create a affordable one. But electric vehicles are positive in so many ways. And so, yes, you're going to have these battles. But I do think the war is done. It's an electric vehicle future. There is no ifs, ands, or buts. But, these kind of debates like this can delay it. And it's, people may still buy the old kind cars, but eventually the price is important, the range is important, the ability, just so many benefits, right? The safety, how much faster it is, and yes, the environment. This is much better for the environment, but it's crazy. The last gasp of the old technology. I'm curious why some people just don't like. Anyway, obviously, I can understand why they would do this, but it's a fight, right?
It is, and it makes less sense every day. Why would you? Well, I want to. I don't want to spend an extra $2,000 to get a Tesla, because I like having a slow, noisy car with a short warranty that costs a fortune in gas and maintenance. It doesn't make
I think
sense.
that, when she goes, you can buy your own car, but don't tell me it's for the environment. I think that that's the feeling that I'm better than you because I'm saving the environment. I mean, who in their right mind would think that oil is great for the environment or better than the batteries are for the environment? So it's just, oil is the most damaging for the environment. It's just, I guess it's almost like don't position it as it's the reason I'm doing this for the environment. And by the way, Elon has said for many, many years now, right? We're not trying to create a car that's better for the environment. We're here to create the best car possible, period. And that's what we're doing, creating the best car you can buy.
I liked EVs in 2012 for environmental reasons. I thought, wouldn't it be great to have cleaner air? I've lived and worked in cities where the air quality was just abysmal. And as as soon as I got that in my head, I dismissed it, because now it's time to move on to, this is a better car. This is more
Yep.
fun. This is safer. This is everything you cheaper to own, cheaper to operate, and now cheaper to buy in many cases. I did see someone complaining, yeah, but it's still quite a bit more than a base model Honda Civic. And I said, yes, it's a different car. What do you, once you up option a Civic to have any kind of the things that you get with the base model Tesla, it's already more expensive. And really, you should be comparing a Camry or an Accord
Yeah.
at least. But again, still not a base model. So, well, I don't need a big fancy screen.
Right. No, I mean that's
Right,
fair.
but
If you're in the US, there's no options for a compact car. If you go to China, there's many options. And so yeah, he's correct. So maybe go ahead and get the smaller compact car if that's what you're looking for.
Honda Civics are not as small as they used to be. They are about Model 3 size now. They're just not as nice as an Accord or a Camry or a Model 3.
Yeah.
So, guys, what did we miss? What did we misunderstand? Is D nice correct and we're just crazy people here? Or is there something else going on? What do we do to make it so that clowns like her get who are getting 1 million views don't dominate the conversation in the future. You can follow me on X. It's super easy. I don't even charge for you to follow me because I do such great work that I just think we should all have access to that brilliance. Other ways you can support me exist as well. The referral code works for another couple days and then it expires, perhaps forever. But whatever works. You can follow me on X at Futuraza. Follow Herbert too. He does good work, I'm told. I don't know. I guess it's all right. So, like, subscribe, do the usual things, and stay tuned, stay juicy, and I cannot wait to hear from you clever robots in a world polluted by all those electricity spills.